Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Mujeeb. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Mujeeb. In the beginning of today's dars, Imam Sahib is saying that he wishes to explain some matters pertaining to the types of hadith. Often when we use the word hadith, it refers to something that is said by our beloved Lord and Master, the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And there are such matters which he said during his lifetime, and those sayings or those actions are referred to as hadith. And other than that, those deeds that the Holy Prophet ﷺ performed and those things that he said that are mentioned by the companions are also included in hadith. And also the things that some companions the actions the companions did, or they said something in front of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and about those about which the Holy Prophet ﷺ did not comment or did not correct, then that means that he agreed with that. So there are three types of traditions. One is that which the Holy Prophet ﷺ did. The next is the type of things that the Holy Prophet ﷺ did. Sorry, the first is what he said, the second is what he did, and the third is those things which he permitted to be done and so agreed with it in principle. So in this regard, there are many traditions and our hadiths, and which the companions said, and these are also mentioned in the books of traditions, that are included in the books of traditions. And in this regard, one of the most famous ones is the words of Hazrat Aisha Anha when she said, "Qulu in Khatmul Anbiya wa la taqulu la nabiyya ba'di," that all people do say that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is the Khatmul Anbiya, but do not say that there will be no prophet after him. So this is an example of the third type of tradition, hadith. So now Imam Sahib is saying that after mentioning this, he wishes to present today's tradition, and this is something. Today's tradition is also one of those which has to do with what companions said, and so this is taken from the book of traditions called Bukhari. And when such matters are mentioned in the books of tradition, then that means that the companions heard this from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, or they were taught it, and then in the guidance of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and as a result of his teaching them, they mentioned these matters. So Hazrat Ibn Umar Zanho relates, and this is taken from Sahih Bukhara, that he said that when it is evening, do not wait for the morning, and when it is morning, do not wait for the evening, and when you are in good health, then do something for the times when you are ill, and while you're alive, then take some belongings with you for the day of judgment. So these are such simple words, but they contain matters of immense wisdom, and these have been mentioned by the Holy Prophet ﷺ himself in many ways. So Imam Sahib says that let's repeat these words, that if it is evening, then do not wait for the morning. That means that whenever you have a chance to do something good, you should do it. You shouldn't wait you shouldn't delay it. We don't know if the morning is going to come or not, but if there's a chance to do a good deed, we should do it. And also in the morning, do not wait for the evening. They don't think that I should postpone this till the evening. As soon as you can, you should try to hurry up and do something good, so that the occasion of doing good is not lost. And then it says that do something for your times of illness when you are healthy. So when one is healthy and when one is strong, we should do as much good deeds as we can, so that afterwards, if because of illness, if you can't do something good, then at least his there should be no empty space in his life for that he should be, the actions that he should be done, he should do whatever chance he gets. And also he said that when you are going to the next life, then you should take some belongings with you, and the belongings being good deeds in this world. In the next tradition, Hazrat Abu Hurairah Razanha said, and this he said at a particular occasion, Imam Sahib is saying this is a very comprehensive tradition which opens the doors of many good deeds for us, and it should always be remembered. He says that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that there are 7 types of people who will be given a space, a spot beneath the shade of the mercy of Allah, when there will be no other shade besides it. So when there is no other shade of mercy, then there are 7 types of people who Allah will permit to enter into that shade. And the first is that person who is an Imam or a leader, and who decides with justice. He keeps fair-mindedness in mind. This is the responsibility of every leader or a chief, that he should use justice in his decisions. Then he will be one of those people who will be granted that shade. And the second is that young man who spends his youth in the worship of Allah. The time of youth is when our attentions are diverted and people can sometimes go along the wrong paths. But how fortunate is that young man who worships Allah. He keeps himself busy worshipping Allah during his life, and so he is also he is also included in the party who will be granted a spot in the shade of Allah's mercy. And then the third is that person whose heart is always hanging in the mosques, as if it is hanging in the mosques. He goes to the mosque for one prayer, he goes there with a lot of desire, and he bows before Allah and prostrates before Allah, and then after performing the salat, he doesn't want to go home, doesn't want to go anywhere else, but he has to go home for matters of the world. But his heart is associated with the mosque. So as although his body goes out of the mosque, but as if his heart stays in the mosque, it hangs around in the mosque. And the next category, the fourth category, is of those two people who who love each other merely for the sake of earning the pleasure of Allah. They don't have any worldly desires. People have friends normally and keep relations with people for the advancement of their worldly affairs. But those people who love each other solely for the sake of Allah, and they meet for His sake and depart for the sake of Allah, then those are the people who will also be granted a spot in the shade of Allah's mercy. So it means that when you choose friends, you should base them on piety, and if there is any difference, and then if you do not wish to do something, if the person instigates you to do something which is against the pleasure of Allah, then you should abandon that friendship. And the fifth is that person who is called by a lady who has got authority and who is the epitome of beauty and charm. She invites him towards evil, and he refuses, and he says that he is afraid of Allah, and he rejects the invitation. So that person will also be included in that category. Then the sixth type of these people is he who gives charity in such a way that no one else finds out about it. So there is he conceals his charity in such a way that even one hand is not aware of what the other hand has done, and he does it purely for the sake of earning the pleasure of Allah. So he does this in secret. So he sacrifices his wealth without anyone knowing about it, and without any show, and without trying to impress anyone else. He only does it for the sake of Allah, or he does something good. So he will also be included in that category. And the last category is a person who remembers Allah when in secret, when there is no one else watching and he's all alone, and he has no desire to show anyone. He doesn't think about doing it for anybody else's sake. When he's completely alone, when he remembers Allah, when he remembers Allah's favors, then at such a state comes over him that his eyes become filled with tears. And this is the true love of Allah, because of which these tears flow. And this is the love which on the day of judgment will give him a right to be in the shade of Allah's mercy. So these are the 7 types of people who have been regarded as those fortunate people by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who are going to be given a spot in the shade of Allah's mercy. How fortunate are such people, and how glorious their character, how noble their character, who are in any one of these categories and who are able to do these good deeds. And on the day of judgment, how great will their reward be, how great will the blessings on them will be, that when there is no other shade of mercy anywhere, they will be granted a spot in the shade of Allah's mercy. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim min kamida majid.